over half a century, Americans have been carrying on a love affair with home movies. They've 8mm themselves diving and swimming and diving and diving. They've waved and smiled. Well, most of them. And soon everybody got into the act. Rock stars. Even royalty made their own royal home movies. And television stars. Americans had a ball, laughing and waving and pointing at the camera, until they got fed up. Just when it seemed that the last reel had rolled, came a shining light on the home movie horizon, home video. The marketplace was flooded with video equipment. The magic words Beta, VHS were on the lips of every home video maker. The old Bell & Howells were traded in for Panasonics and JVCs and Sonys. And soon, America was tape crazy. It was the beginning of a home video revolution. And it's easy to see why some of us got a little carried away. What a thrill. No more projectors, no more looping, no more threading, no more sprocketing. Now, seeing ourselves star on TV can be as easy as lights, camera.
Okay, action. Everything about it is appealing.
Everything the traffic will allow. No one will you get that happy feeling when you're
There you go. The live show. You smile.
That night you open and there you are. Next thing on your dressing room, they call in your car. Let us go on with the show.
Homemade, starring, produced, written, and directed by the United States of America, with no special appearance by Bob Hope.
I don't know. I don't get it. I didn't hear him say it. Now here's your host, Kenny Solms. What's the matter? Does he hate me? I don't get it. Where is he anyway? In some sound locker? Anyway, I am your host, Kenny Solms, and welcome to Homemade. You know, Andy Warhol once said, by the way, can we discuss Andy Warhol? What is wisdom? Is his hair blonde? Is it white? Was he shot by a woman once? Why did she shoot him? What's with the Campbell soup cans? Why is he always carrying a tape recorder around? Why is he always in Studio 54? Does he ever sleep? Anyway, Andy Warhol once said, anybody can be famous for at least 15 minutes. What does that mean? It can't be true. I mean, there's so many millions of people out there, all those Indians and Chinese people. It couldn't be true. But I respect Andy Warhol, and he did say it. He said, anybody can be famous for at least 15 minutes. And on this show, Homemade, anybody can be famous for at least, well, 30 minutes. Homemade is exactly what it sounds like. We're taking the homemade videotapes you send us and putting them on television. We've advertised all over the country, and we've gotten incredible tapes. The response has been overwhelming. We got tons of them. It's amazing what happens when Americans get hold of a camera. Everybody turns into a director or a star, and true, some of the tapes were a little blurry. Some were out of focus, but most of them were funny. I mean, we wanted grassroots, all-American homemade tapes, and that's exactly what we've got. Well, some people didn't understand the idea of the show exactly. I mean, it was the first time around. Well, here's what I mean.
Carol!
I brought these tapes, and I know one of them is just going to be wonderful.
No, Carol, these tapes are from your show. You see, that's not what we're doing.
I know they're going to be fabulous. One of them you can use. I know that.
They're all fabulous. That's not the point. See, the premise of the show is homemade. We're getting tapes from America.
America.
Yeah, you know, people out there.
But this would, I'm sure you
They're
can use
fabulous. I love them, Carol, but they're not right for
We'll
the
just look
show.
at one of them.
I have no time to know. I am so glad we had this time together just to have every single song.
Seems we just get started, and before you know it.
Comes the time I have to say so long. I'm sorry, Carol. I really am.
Push it.
I mean it.
Great start, but not homemade material. Not like our own Ed. Now, let me explain who Ed is. Ed is a character. He's from Akron, Ohio, and he sent us a lot of tapes. That's why he's going to be a regular in our show. He never, ever runs out of ideas.
The idea here is that a good actor, it's been said by some people, and I don't know who, I don't know where, and I don't know why, but it has been said that a good actor could read even the telephone book and make it come alive. He can make it happen. Okay, let's read the book here. And the famous part, the part that you always like to turn to when you first get your new book to see how many pages of them there are, we're going to read. And that's the #1 most famous name in the country. We'll start with the very first one here in this phone book, A. Smith.
Well, it's not going to be happening tonight, Ed, because we don't have time to hear you read the entire phone book, because time is money. But, speaking of money, Ed feels very strongly about it.
I like to handle my money. I don't know, I wouldn't put coins in my mouth because you can swallow them, and they'll choke you to death. But you can take your money and smell it and rub it all over your face. You're not going to get sick. I have a theory that the government might even put Lysol or something in the money, because so many people handle it. Money won't make you sick. It'll make you happy. And if you get sick, you've at least got something to go to the doctor with.
The character, Ed, isn't he? Akron, Ohio, I don't get it. Now, another department in our show will be music. How could we ignore music? And we asked people all over America to send in their versions of There's No Business Like Show Business, which you saw at the top of the show. But we also wanted to be contemporary and today and what's happening, so we also asked them to send us their version of Maniac from Flashdance. And we got a lot of versions, but none was a bigger surprise than this one. Ginsburg, all the way from Miami. That was kind of like a rest homemade, wasn't it? Now, Maniac also applies to our next department, I would call it. He's our resident philosopher. Maybe maniac is too harsh a word. Lunatic is a little more appropriate. So I want to introduce you to the one and only Mr. Morrison.
These days, this Machiavellian discourse that is octopied out into our flexible arms, grasping and putting itself into every pie that it possibly can to keep the resources coming back into our country so that we can maintain the power to produce and consume. You soon be a happy fool in a gadget-filled living room. I love it. I love progress. I love the toys. I said it before, I'll say it again. I love TV. Oh, yes, I do. Oh, sure, I love it all. Yes, I do. I love the aquariums, too.
Mr. Morrison, what can I say? It's nice to know you're thinking out there in America, whatever it is that you're thinking about. Mr. Morrison is strange, isn't it? Must be something in the water up there in Tacoma. But now I think it's time to leave the world of philosophy. Don't you love on shows when they do that? We're going to leave the world of philosophy, go into the world of shows. It's only 6 inches. Okay. We're now in a new area, a new set, our show business department set area. And that's what we're going to go into now, homemade showbiz. There's a lot of talent out there in America. And every week on Homemade, somebody might get discovered. And isn't it a treat to not get discovered all the time from Hollywood and get discovered from your own lanai or your own living room or your own rec room or your own whatever it is where you do these things.